I'm Bob Boyle, owner and projectionist here at the Brackley Drive-In Theatre in beautiful Brackley Beach, Prince Edward Island. And your 2 drinks are included. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Straight ahead. So when you turn off of Route 15 or the Brackley Point Road into the drive-in, it's a little bit of transporting back in time in a good way. When you turn that corner, you're going back to a simpler time, usually family time or that first date with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. That significant friend that you want to take to the drive-in and enjoy an evening out. Those are the memories that have been created and will be created when you go around that turn. So this drive-in here was created back in 1959. It was originally called the Parkview Drive-In. Over the years, it kind of evolved. It changed hands from the Much sisters that originally operated it to Paul Gunn, and then the Jenkins family, and then my family, the Boyle family. We purchased it in 1991 and then refurbished the drive-in in a 1950s style. Obviously, one of the biggest parts of the drive-in experience is popcorn. What we get back from the majority of our feedback is people love our popcorn here at the drive-in. We call it naked popcorn. For lack of a better word, it's naked popcorn for the reason that we don't color it. We don't use artificial colors, like, you know, some of that yellow popcorn that you see, that's an artificial color added to the popcorn. Our popcorn is pure white, and it's pure white for a reason. That it's naked. It's the way it's supposed to be. We didn't put clothes on it. So we've had a lot of experience with popcorn. I've been popping popcorn now since 1992. And we follow the same amount of salt every single time. So we take that as pride in our popcorn. And the other the part is that, you know, the butter that goes on top of that popcorn. Now, we don't use real butter. A lot of people say, oh, is it real butter? We don't use real butter, and there's a reason why we don't use real butter. Real butter burns. And so if you put real butter in a warmer all night, at the end, partway through the night, that's going to be burnt butter. I don't know if you've ever tried doing that at home in a kettle, or in a pot, but butter burns. And so we've learned many years ago that butter by itself is not really good for the full night. So in the projection room has definitely changed over the decades. When I started here back in 1992, I learned from one of the original projectionists here. His name was Roy Wibley. And he was quite a character, British fella that moved here after World War II. He taught me what was called carbon arc projection. So that's where basically 2 welding rods, for lack of a better word, come together and they make a spark, and it's just like a welder. You know, you don't look at the welder. That's the same idea as how projectors were back then. It was a very bright light, especially for drive-ins, to get that image out onto the big screen. In 2004, 2005, we switched to digital film. And that's been quite a change. It's more automated. It takes away, if anybody ever watches a classic film and you hear that ticking sound that a projector would make, that's gone now from the projector room. We do have a much brighter image, a steadier image. So as far as the image quality, it's definitely more improved than when it was filmed. But some of the nostalgia has kind of disappeared when it doesn't have that ticking sound. I know I miss it when I walk into the projector room. Nowadays, I go in there, I turn on the fan, or the fan comes on automatically, and then I set up the movie schedule on the projector. And when the schedule's set, it's set, unless I have to adjust it for the sunset, maybe, or there's heavy cloud that comes in earlier. We can start maybe 10 minutes earlier than normal. But for the most part, once the schedule's set, it goes on its own. Whereas before, when we were projectionists, we had to sit there and watch the film all the time. And then you would have to wait for the cue to switch to the next reel, which a lot of people didn't realize that every time there was a little black dot up in the right-hand corner of the screen, you had to switch to the other reel. And if you missed it, well, you'd be seeing white screen at some point, and it happened. It happened a couple of times over the years. The projector has its own schedule. There's two different schedules. There's the projector and then there's the server. So think of it as a big fancy computer hooked up to the projector. The projector has its own little brain in there, and a timer in there that tells it when to wake up and when to go to bed. So it comes on at 6:30 at night, and just kind of shakes everything out. And then that kind of, if there was an error or an error code, I would get that message that there was a problem with the projector, and hopefully try and rectify it. If not, then that would give me time to give people notice that obviously we're not going to have a show tonight because there's a problem. Then over to the server, that's the part that the film gets ingested. That's the process it's called, is the film now, it's a digital film. It's different than, say, a DVD or a Blu-ray. It's at a higher capacity. It's what they call 2K is what we use. So we take that little hard drive and hook it up to the server, and then ingest the film. And then that goes into the hard drives of the server, and it sits on 3 different hard drives. So there's 3 backups. If one fails, it automatically switches to the next one, and if that one fails, it switches to the next one. We've only ever had one hard drive failure here in the last 10 years, and that was just one hard drive. So the chances of them all going out were very, very slim. For the FM radio here at the drive-in, a lot of people were confused at the beginning when we had 2 drive-ins. The idea was, well, how are we going to listen to it? It's like we tune onto the radio. So we had 2 radio stations. That's how you listen to it. So screen 1 is 99.1 FM here, and screen 2 is 90.9 FM. So if depending on which screen you're on, that's the screen that you tune your radio to. So the 2 different screens here at the drive-in are slightly offset. So if you're on screen 1, you can't see screen 2, and same with screen 2, you can't see screen 1. We put it that way so if you're, again, watching a kid's film on one screen, you're not seeing a horror movie on the other screen. So those 2 don't cross over. The outdoor sound here at the drive-in, we've had to play with it quite a bit to be able to get the sound level so it doesn't bleed from one screen to the other. But you have your audio in your car. If you're sitting out, you can turn up your radio and enjoy it.